everybody. This is Diane. You are here for another episode of Biters, and tonight we are recording about Fear the Walking Dead.
Season 2 premiere, Fear the Walking Dead.
Hey, who is that on the other line?
This is your zombified 30-something Brian. Little waterlogged, little seasick, but I think we're going to talk ourselves to staying on the boat. So, what do you think, man? It just weird, right? Could you kind of feel a little sleazy?
I gotta tell you, I only gave it 2.5 out of 5 burials at sea.
Yeah, I gave it 3 shortwave radio dating out of 5.
That is perfect.
It was just one of them things where you just kind of felt dirty. It kind of feels like you're dating 2 girls at the same time. It's like, am I doing this right? Is Walking Dead proper going to find out that I'm watching Fear? Oh, God, I don't know. What's going on?
Having never dated 2 girls at the same time, I'll have to let you know. So I did want to catch people up really fast on the numbers from The Walking Dead.
Yes, yeah. So let's make a pact here. Okay. We'll talk about The Walking Dead for about 10 minutes tonight.
Okay.
Because there's some leftovers.
Yeah, and we do have quite a bit of feedback, so I think our feedback is going to be included and maybe overflow that 10 minutes a little bit.
Yeah.
But just real quick, I told people I'd have the numbers for East and Last Day on Earth. So East, it was 12.38 million viewers same day, and it went up to 16.9 in the Live Plus 3. So those were really good numbers. And then... all right, my husband is supposed to be on dog duty tonight. Damn it.
He's failing.
He's totally failing. And then Last Day on Earth actually was up by a little over 2 million same day. It was 14.9 million. So does not disappoint in terms of increasing the numbers for a finale. And then Live Plus 3, it was 18.4.
Okay, I was going to say... 14 is a little lower than what they're used to, but then you throw in the DVRs and they're right back up to par.
Yeah, so it was the numbers for the finale were good.
Good. So let's just get this out of the way real quick here.
Okay.
I like being one of the only people who thinks it's Sasha or Aaron who got clubbed because I don't buy the fact that the subtitles gave it away, or the closed captions gave it away. That's garbage. There's no way they would allow the closed caption to reveal who it was.
So I have not gone back and looked at any of the video analysis. I've read a couple of things about the season finale, but I just want to do the best I can to not spoil it for myself. I don't know that that's going to be possible, but I want to do the best I can.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible. I think it was just somebody who's really, really crafty because he got a whole bunch of web hits to his website.
Yeah.
And everybody clicking it and clicking it and over and over and over. So he made some money off of that. So I think that's BS. However, according to our polls, Glenn is by far the odds-on favorite to get the bat. I am the only one who voted for Aaron.
I think I voted for Glenn. Pretty sure I voted for Glenn.
Yeah, over half of the people have voted for Glenn in our poll. So thank you to anyone out there who did take the poll. That was great. It was fun. So we'll do some more of those in the future.
I do want to say I think we should leave the finale poll up for one more week.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So we'll leave it up until we podcast next time, and then we'll give you results. So please, if you haven't voted, go and vote. It's pretty fun.
I do want to take the quick opportunity here, since it is about The Walking Dead, is to thank everybody. We had our most active week after the finale. That was so cool. I mean, we do not have time to read everybody's stuff about The Walking Dead, which we always do. However, we will try and burn through the names as absolutely quick as possible. Cody Stradley, Michelle Brunson. Feel free to jump in if you.
I gotta say hey to Michelle because she's a good friend of mine, and she's been privately messaging stuff to me, and I'm super glad to see her posting on the Facebook page.
Laura Will Swink, Aaron Moriarty Drury. Who else? I mean, there's just Art, of course, Thomas.
Well, now I got to get back on the page, so I got to
I
get
mean, there's
caught up
literally
here.
just so many people. Steph Murito, Marnell, Nathan, Tom DeRosa, Thomas Reese, Christine Bowman, Beth Belden, Mitch McWood, Carla Mae Gibson, something, Shenandoah Grand Poobah, Nathan Weddy, Carol Blair, Jill Marcella. I mean, people, this was awesome. This is so fun. Thank you. This is what gets me through the workday. Is it was almost addicting going back and see how many new messages were out there and to read. We read every single thing that is posted.
And
Guaranteed.
we have totally had names again that I've never seen before, like Gennaro Zavala, Vina Alviani Fauzi. I'm not even sure if I'm saying your name
Cindy
right.
Patton.
Yeah, it's super cool. I do want to give a shout out to Thomas O'Mara because he has posted some really great stuff, including a picture of Caitlin Nacon. I think that's her name, is the girl who plays Enid, pointing at his "Just Survive Somehow" tattoo with a great look on her face.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's super awesome.
And there's another picture up there too about a little meet and greet. That was pretty sweet where he's Abe's getting flipped off by everybody in the picture.
Right. It's one of the photo ops from Walker
Yes.
Stalker with
Awesome
Thomas.
stuff.
Yeah, it's super
Yeah,
great.
great stuff. So yeah, everybody, thank you very much. It's really means a lot to us to go out there and have this kind of interaction with everybody out there. It was so cool to see it. One thing, share it with your friends. You know, if when you see the episode post, hit share. Share it with your friends. This is for everybody to enjoy. It's great, and we absolutely love it. So thank you very much.
I agree. It's been really great looking at the feedback. I hope people stick with us through Fear, and I think we could have a lively conversation about that. So,
All right, let's hit Fear. Let's do this now.
all right.
All right.
So let's see. The episode was called Monster.
Yes, Monster.
And I think, they've said it in the sneak peeks.
Yeah, the promos.
You become the monster.
Yeah, to kill the monster, you have to become the monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Even the guy who was on Fear, Dave Erickson, he's a producer and he was the writer of tonight's episode. He said that the arc this season is really about, do you become a monster to kill the monster? So they pretty much summed it up in the title.
Yeah, to me, the title meant, monster, but it's people. It's not the monsters, it's people.
Well, and we see that borne out in this episode to a certain degree, so that'll be interesting to talk about.
Yeah, it had a fresh kind of, feel to it, but again, it just kind of felt like I was cheating on my old lady,
Well, you made a good point when we were talking before we started recording, so I don't know if you want to roll that out now.
Sure. Yeah. We'll get in because then we'll go into our epics and hopefully it'll allow people to kind of think about things.
Kind of, because I've still got the writer, director, and the character
Yeah,
of
you
the
still
week.
got that. So the thing to remember when you're watching Fear the Walking Dead is you kind of have to block The Walking Dead. You have to block proper out of your brain. Because the lessons that are learned in season 6 were never learned in season 2. Think about our group on the farm and the mistakes that they made and the dumb stuff they did. Fits right into this world. And I would even be willing to wager that Fear, their group, has people that are more advanced than Proper did at this point in time in season 2.
And I would add to that by saying, I watched a little bit of the run up to the premiere, the marathon with my husband, because he hasn't watched any of Fear, and he looked at me and he was like, "Why don't they get it about the zombies?" So I had to, and he's never read the comic books, and I had to say, okay, you understand that there is no reference to zombies in the Walking Dead world whatsoever. There's no mythology. There's no scary stories about zombies. It's a totally new thing with the outbreak of the virus.
Right.
And so these characters have no frame of reference, and we're seeing them even before we saw people in The Walking Dead. because this is at the very, very beginning days of the outbreak.
Yeah, this would be like if you took somebody from the 1920s and put them in here. They don't have that knowledge or that thought, and then to see it play out is shocking. It's hard to cope with. It's hard to adjust to. So, all right, fire off them numbers now. Now I got that out of the way.
All right.
Public service announcement.
So, actually, our writer is Dave Erickson. He's also a producer on Fear the Walking Dead. He's also got producer credits for Marco Polo, Sons of Anarchy, and a series called Low Winter Sun. Have you heard of that?
Negative.
Me either. I know my husband really loves Marco Polo, though that's on Netflix.
You guys play that in like the bathtub or something?
I am so not going there. But I think you made me blush, and that's kind of hard to do. So, all right. He has been a writer on Fear. In fact, I think he wrote most, if not all, of season 1, and then he started out with the premiere of season 2. And he's also been a writer for Low Winter Sun and Sons of Anarchy. So he doesn't have tons of credits to his name, but he's got some interesting stuff on his resume.
All right.
And then Adam Davidson was our director. I couldn't find him on IMDb, so I looked him up on Walking Dead Wiki. And he wrote and directed the pilot of Fear. And then he's known for some other stuff. And I'm going to rattle through these, but I don't know them, and I'll be surprised if you do. So surprise me. Day Trippers, Irene in Time, A Match Made in Heaven, and I don't know if this is a name of a collection of shorts. I think it is American Short Films. So
no idea.
Kind of get the sense that Fear is his big break.
Could be.
So let's see, featured cast member. I do want to say one thing about last week's featured cast member. I apparently made Jeffrey Dean Morgan 10 years older than he is.
Camera adds 10 years, 10 pounds, whatever.
He was not born in 1956. He was born in 1966. I'm saying it got corrected on IMDb after I looked it up, but, whatever. We'll go with it.
Host is never wrong.
Okay, so this week's featured cast member, I thought it would be a good idea to talk about Coleman Domingo because we both love Victor Strand.
Yes, he is my favorite right now.
So Victor Strand is played by a guy named Coleman Domingo, who was born in November 28th, 1969. So that makes him just a year older than me, which is kind of cool. He lives and works now between London and New York, and he started out as a stage actor, but he now has quite a few movie and television credits to his name as well. Let's see. He has been in Lincoln, the movie that just came out that was based on Doris Kearns Goodwin's biography. The Butler and Selma. Those are just some recent ones.
Sure.
Really looking forward to seeing all of those. I haven't seen them yet. And then TV, he's got a walk-on in Lucifer, which looks like a really funny show. I haven't gotten caught up in it yet, but it looks funny. I'm guessing this is one of his British series, The Big Gay Sketch Show.
Probably.
Because I've never heard of it, and I think that would get some attention in America. He's had spots on some Law and Orders, and taking you way back, he had several spots in Nash Bridges.
Intriguing.
And the most interesting thing that I found out about this guy is that he is an ordained minister in the non-denominational Universal Life Church. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So I wonder if he feels a little sleazy.
Maybe.
So that's it for the formalities. What you got for me in terms of an epic?
Well, my epic is just really watching the downfall of society kind of play out. When it's showing LA as they're kind of leaving and they're getting out, and you kind of see the buildings burning and stuff like that. And I even watched the season finale to kind of bring myself back up to refresh. Mm-hmm. And just watching that, because you never got to see that. You only got to see that in season 5 when they went back looking for Beth. You kind of seen the cityscape.
Right.
And that was just like, oh my God, I love that visual of, this is what it's really going to look like. And then to see LA. If you've ever flown into LA, it was one of them eye-opening experiences. It's like, I can only see city. and you can see city as far as the horizon goes, and there's still more city beyond that. So then to see that kind of all on fire and the jets dropping bombs and stuff, it's just like, this is pretty cool. Like, that's the stuff I wanted to see when this was announced. I want to see that final realization of the downfall, and then it showed every character's face. Okay. And they were just kind of staring.
I'm going to steal that from you, not as my epic, but just as a frame through which I can view this series, because I missed all of that. I mean, I knew that there was the scape of LA burning, but now I need to go back and watch it, because you're right. I mean, that's something that we didn't get with The Walking Dead proper that I think we can really get from this series, which is that whole slow degradation of civilization. I mean, by the time we got to the pilot in our original series, it was done.
Yeah, it was all done. And that's the one thing that I liked. Alicia made the comment in the show is it was already over before I even realized it.
Yeah. And well, one of the things that I really liked, and again, not my epic, but it plays into yours, is I really liked a lot of the radio chatter. And I know we're going to talk about some of it more later, but I feel like the radio chatter was really ominous and scary, because you heard stuff like people really desperately fighting for their lives or fleeing, and I felt like that really gave us a sense of what was going on without belaboring the visuals. It actually was almost more scary because you heard it, but you didn't see it.
Right. So what's your epic?
Well, my epic is the walkers. And I know that you kind of are going to poo-poo me, but I really liked the walker who got his head ground into the boat motor. I thought that was pretty cool. But go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was just saying, it was nothing I'm going to poo-poo it, but it's just like, okay, they had to have the one walker kill in there.
It was pretty good, though. And then I just really liked the floating walkers. I think that they're a new threat. We've never seen walkers in the water before. We've never thought about water being unsafe. You know, I mean, we've had moments like when they were in the flooded church, or, you know, when Herschel and his lackeys were trapping walkers in the water and taking them back to the barn. But we've never had this visual of our characters being submerged and threatened by human beings that can walk underwater and bite underwater. And
yeah, I mean, you even kind of see it with Nick when he kind of goes into the boat, which we'll talk about. You know, he kind of like tugs on that walker. He's like, oh, wait, didn't drown. Well, yeah, dummy. You know, and I think it's all part of that learning process.
And that is definitely something we have not seen. So I like them bringing a fresh look at the walkers, because I do think we're at the point in the proper series where they're kind of not scary anymore. And they're scary in this series.
Yeah, they have to make them fresh. They have to kind of just do things a different way and really kind of liven it up. So I like it.
Yeah, I do too. So what you got for your fail?
My fail was that how nobody knew that Alicia was talking on the damn radio.
I was kind of worried that she was going to run down the battery.
As soon as I even messaged you when we were watching this, I'm like, they're getting caught.
Yeah, no, that was really good, and I totally didn't pick up on that. So
sure.
Please,
so
please elaborate.
Yeah. So this is what happens when you're from a small town. Is they have what's called CB tag. So your CB radio that you can mount in your car or in a boat or wherever. Well, when that mic is open, it sends a signal out, and my receiver can pick up your signal. Like I'm pinging it on a radar almost. So what we used to do is you were in one car and you guys drove around in the city. We gave you a 10-minute head start, and then you had to keep talking on the radio, and then we had to come find you. So we were playing tag across an entire city just through your radios. And you can literally pinpoint somebody hiding in an alleyway. No problem.
That is super funny. I've never done that before. So you've actually done what happened on Fear.
So when she was doing this, he just kept asking, and then she clicked the mic.
Yeah.
You know, she just clicked, and he's like, wait, is someone there? Because it pinged on his receiver. And he's saying, wait, hey, wait, no, I can hear you. And then he started making it real personal. And that's what got her to talk. And he just kept making her talk.
Yeah.
Over and over and over. Explain this. What do you got here? Tell me about this. Tell me about that. And then as it was going, I'm just like, how does nobody know this? How does nobody know this danger that she is presenting herself?
And the group.
And the group. Like, what is going on? It's the same difference if a 12-year-old girl was talking to somebody online.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
And I kind of, even when I didn't realize what was happening, because I really would not have picked up on that either until the end or when I got your message, because I just don't have a frame of reference for that. Even when I didn't know, it just felt kind of squicky.
Yeah, and as it was, the guy just kept making it very personal to her. He was playing to her emotions about, oh, my girlfriend, and all this stuff. Long shot call, my bold prediction is it's the Coast Guard.
Really?
The Coast Guard has immediately turned bad.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
I mean, it doesn't have to be all of them. So in a Coast Guard, you can be in a boat with 3 people. Like, that could be your boat. It's not a big boat. It's a small boat, but it has a 50 cal machine gun mounted on it.
So are those the holes that we saw in that other boat?
That was a large caliber rifle at a very high rate of speed. So that's instantly I seen that and I went, ooh, Coast Guard.
The first thing that I thought was, okay, for a standard rifle shot, those are huge holes.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I think it's the 50 cal Coast Guard. Just kind of saying society has fallen. It's not uncommon. The National Guard was doing it
right
in L.A. The downfall has happened. We're on our own. It's us or them, and it's not going to be us.
Yeah, so. and I mean, going back to cobalt and the meaning of cobalt in the series, it was really the military evacuating themselves and not so much nuking, but not so much literally nuking, but metaphorically nuking everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. So
this is the same kind of deal.
Yeah, that was really frustrating for me that nobody, she wasn't hiding it. She was doing it like out on the back and stuff like that.
Didn't Maddie tell her to try to rouse someone on the radio?
Travis did.
Okay.
Travis did, yeah. He was like, hey, go talk on this and try and find somebody just to keep her busy.
I was going to say, that's all it was. So they wouldn't see him
cruising by the boat of 50 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Jack finally responds, because even then, just to finalize the pinpoint was, where are you to that smoke cloud? Oh, I'm right here. Okay. And then he said, I got you. I'll see you soon. Yeah. And then she just went, oh, crap.
Yeah.
Strand knew, though. That's why he was like, hey, and then everyone got all up in his business.
Yeah, so, he was like, we got to get out of here.
So, your fail.
So my fail was just, and this is probably my season 6 goggles, but everyone into the water.
So, that's awesome. Because that's my epic fail.
Oh, funny. So,
go ahead.
I will tell you the thing that really bothered me the most about it was, Travis gave that big speech about how, we have to keep our family safe. We can't help anybody else now. It's our responsibility to keep our family safe. So what does he do? First off, Chris, who I think was actually suicidal, dives into the water. Nick goes in after him. And then Travis jumps in when he already knows there's a threat.
So, yes.
So it just seems to me like he was completely negating his speech, and it was one more of those, okay, if one person makes a bad decision, let's all compound it by making the bad decision too.
Well, I think for Travis, I think it's just the focus on his son.
I think you're right. I mean, I think that's still early day season 1 before the S has really hit the fan, as it were.
Yeah, I don't think he can see past what all he sees is that his son's in the water.
He can give the speech about we can't help anybody, blah, 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 but he's not
do as I say, not as
yet.
I do.
Yeah.
So my epic fail is the same thing, but why are you jumping in with your clothes on, and why is Travis jumping in with denim? So life-saving tip, everybody. Denim holds up to 20 times its weight in water. If you want to drown and die, jump on.
So basically, all three of our people who were in the water were dressed totally inappropriately and would have totally been bogged down.
They would have been, because of their lack of nutrition and proper hydration. I would almost guarantee you at least one of them, probably two, would not have made it back to the boat because they would have been so exhausted and so weighted down, they would have drowned already.
So I gotta tell you, I kept waiting to see if maybe they were gonna spring a death on us to make this a really bombastic re-entry into Fear. And I thought that was the perfect place that the writers and producers had to do that. That they could kill off Chris, or I didn't think they were going to kill off Nick, but that they could do a death in the water.
Well, I think we might get there soon, but I don't think it was needed just because of the whole, I gotcha, I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
That was enough for like, what the hell? You know, like, are you kidding me? Like, oh my God, how did this guy find him? Well, folks, you already know how he found him. And that's why I think it's the Coast Guard. And I don't think they're going to be able to shoot the boat up like that. I think they're going to go for the trust part because they may have used up their ammunition already. So they're just going to go, hey, we're the Coast Guard. Hey, we're here to help you.
We're here to help.
And then, man, what's the old man's name? Crap.
Salazar.
Yeah, I think he's going to be like, nope. And they're just going to be like, nope. And they're going to tear ass out of there. Who knows?
I was going to say something else, and I'll be darned if I can remember it. So I'm just going to tell you what my epic was. So my epic was actually me. My epic fail, rather. Which, was just my struggle to be engaged with this series. I kept asking myself, do I really care about these characters? And as of the end of last season, the thing that probably impacted me the most was Liza's death.
Yes. I think we kind of talked about this, is that it's hard to really feel attached. You feel kind of sleazy. You're trying to figure out what's kind of going on. I think that they could have better served this series by a week or two break.
I think you are absolutely right. We did talk about that before we started recording, and I think just a little bit of time to really separate this series from Walking Dead proper would have been really good.
To me, it kind of feels like AMC is trying to make it like Comic Book Men. Like, that show would not exist on its own. However, it's right on after The Walking Dead or The Talking Dead. So people kind of stick around and watch Comic Book Men if you're on the West Coast or if you're a night owl or something.
Well, and I think the other thing about difficulty engaging in the story and the characters, and this goes back to watching it with Walking Dead lenses, but the Walking Dead proper was so original, and now I think that we struggle a little bit because there's not quite that same sense of originality, because we kind of already know what they're facing, what could potentially happen. I don't really think we know what's going to happen in this series, but maybe we're a little bit jaded because we've been there, seen that. And I think that if they keep doing novel things like the novel take on the walkers in this episode, I think there's the chance that this could really fly on its own.
So are you assigning them proper characters yet? So you're like, Strand is Shane. And,
oh, no, I haven't gone that far.
Salazar is more of Rick, I think.
Oh.
Because he's very cautious of everybody. He's aggressive. He's controlled aggression. He stands his ground very firm, and I've kind of started assigning previous proper relationships to them, and kind of identifying who's kind of who in the group to see who's going to be kind of untouchable and who's expendable.
I haven't yet, but I will be honest with you. I think if I had to assign somebody to Rick, I would say that Maddie is potentially the person they're putting forth as the new Rick.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. As far as the main lead, yes, but
And
Man,
main lead who can't be
she
touched.
pisses me off.
I know. And maybe that's good. I mean, maybe with her being such a polarizing character, eventually, there's that thin line between love and hate, right? Maybe we'll all eventually just love her because some sort of transformation takes place, or she does something really amazing that just wins us all over.
Oh, man. It smells like rotting potpourri in here.
I don't think it's rotting. I think it's waterlogged and
Soggy.
salty.
Soggy potpourri. So I will say this. I hope what's her face Madison gets pregnant and Nick gets to shoot her in the head.
Gee, you're not having a Carl and Lori moment at all, are
Yeah.
you?
So there has been such a complete 180 between Madison and Travis.
And even the character the guy who plays Travis, Cliff Curtis, said that on Talking Dead tonight.
Yeah, like they have done such a complete 180 with each other that she was the aggressor in the beginning where she wanted to put down the neighbor and she's doing whatever it took and she killed the principal and she's doing all these things. And Travis was like, "No, it's still her." And she's like, "No, it's not. That's not who it is." When you go to today or this episode, the new premiere, they're driving by the boat of 50 and Travis is like, "It's not our problem. My duty is to my family." And she's like, "No, we need to save them people." And he's like, "We don't have the room. We don't know who we're bringing on. They could be infected. They could be bad people. We don't know anything. We have to protect our family." And that's where I'm starting.
So now I have a question for you because I want to know if you agree with me. Do you think it is Liza's death that rattled them and made them each take a different position?
I don't think it's her death, but she's involved because I think their positions were based off of where they were in the season finale. Who was in the hospital, who stayed behind, who kind of did what. Mm-hmm. So their perspective was a little skewed in saying that, whoa, I need to be saving people or people suck. Everybody's dangerous. Screw everybody. And the one thing I was surprised is Nick, but I think he's under pressure from his mom to kind of be that good guy when he really wants to be the bad guy.
That's okay. You know what? I wrote down some of the very first words uttered by Strand. He was watching Nick, and he was watching Nick grind that Walker's face into the propeller, and he said, "Well done, Nick." Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, first of all, I think that the relationship between Nick and Strand is going to continue to develop. I think Strand is going to be his real mentor. And I think we're going to find out that Strand is not all bad.
Yeah, Strand knows that he has some daddy issues.
Yeah.
And he is going to exploit that into becoming his surrogate father.
I think you're right.
And I think Strand is bad, but not bad in an evil way, bad in a selfish way.
He just knows how to work things.
Well, and he brought them all for a reason. He could have just taken Nick and the old man or something. He could have been very selective because he didn't even have to wait for the last boat to get there. He could have just been like, "Nick, we don't have time," and just drove off.
So that's going to be really interesting to see. And I think that's a key to this season as well. It's going to be very interesting to see how the characters develop and how they each fulfill some kind of role for Strand. Because I think that's a good observation. And the thing that we need to be watching out for now is, what are they bringing to Strand that no one else has?
Yeah. It's going to be something we need to know what the big plan is, and I think it's going to be attention to detail. So, like as it's happening, like I'm always looking at the controls on the yacht. I'm trying to see if we see some land masses in there. I'm looking at books to see if he has any certain books out of land nav charts or maps or something. Like, I'm looking to see if he has something that's going to be a giveaway as to where they're going. I haven't seen anything yet, but he definitely has the smarts. And I think Strand is going to be what keeps them alive. And I think this is the group's like waking up moment, how they're all kind of pissed off at him right now. So he went down and he, in the video game world, we call it an e-peen. So he went out there, whipped it out, and said, "This is mine." He got into a pissing contest and like, rule number 1, it's my boat.
Right.
Number 2, it's my boat. And number 3, it's my goddamn boat. So, everyone's kind of like, well, just settle down, and he is very aggressive. He is very much like me. So when Travis is just kind of like, well, he's like, what are you feeling tough? Like, oh, sit your ass down, buddy, because I will knock you flat and throw your ass overboard and everybody else with you.
It's funny that you say it, because I think that's why I relate to Strand too, because it's just straight out, this is what you see is what you get. I mean, I do think he's deeper. I think there's more going on with Strand than we realize. But in terms of what kind of dealing you're going to have with Strand, he's going to tell you.
Yeah, so he definitely is the puppet master right now. There are people watching. I think he is a larger minded person. Like, he is going to kind of do like a repopulation effort at some point, maybe. That might be in his wheelhouse of, I'm going to need people to work for me. Because the guy he was a very, very successful person in his real life. I mean, he had the house up in the hills with a humongous yacht and all of this stuff.
The diamond cufflinks. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so the dude knew how to get things done, and he didn't do it by himself. He had other people do it for him. So he's very smart. He's very trickery, I guess. It's not a word, but we're going to use it. So if anybody has any theories, make sure you go out there and say, hey, here's what Strand's up to. So hit the Facebook group up and say, here's what Strand's up to.
Well, and so Dave Erickson did say we're going to get a lot of backstory. So I hope in that they give us some backstory about Strand.
Yeah, I'm not ready to make a bold prediction on Strand yet about what he's up to.
Well, my bold prediction, and I hope I am right, is that he's one of the untouchables. Because so far, he's what's making things really interesting.
God, I don't think so. I can see him dying at the end of the season. So. I can definitely see him dying. Definitely see him dying.
Okay, fans, tell us what you think. Is Strand an untouchable, or is Strand dying at the end of the season? Bold prediction territory.
What else you got?
Oh, let's see. I was kind of distressed that they were hauling around Liza's corpse, but then again, Dave Erickson on Talking Dead pointed out that it had only been like 30 minutes between the season finale last season and this premiere. So that was kind of nice to have that, be reminded of that time frame. It made a lot more sense to me.
Yes, I agree. It was very bang, bang. There was no time jump forward, not even, 5 hours. It was, hey, this just happened. The kid has not,
Chris.
Chris has not had time to deal with the loss of his mother at all.
Yeah.
By the hands of his father, which he gave a nice little right hook to.
I did like that Madison was like, did you hurt your hand? And then she reminisced about the first time she smacked her father.
Yeah.
Chris and Daniel fishing. I was totally convinced they were going to haul up a Zed, and that was going to be how we first learned about the waterlogged walkers.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to really do anything. I thought that was going to be a moment where they really have a father-son bond. I thought that was going to be something that really was monumental, but it was really just a couple of words.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of went on their business. But, gosh, I really think that he's going to wind up being more of a father than Travis is, and that's going to make them fight each other.
Yeah, there's going to be friction between Travis and Salazar because of that. Although, the interesting thing is, I really did like the line from Salazar to Travis when they were talking about each of them losing their wives, or in Travis's case, his ex-wife.
Mm-hmm.
What I would give, or what I would not give to trade... No. What I would not give to trade my failure for your mercy. Anyways, basically saying, I wish I'd been able to give Griselda mercy the way that you gave it to Liza.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was a pretty cool acknowledgement of the parallel that they're both going through.
Yeah, it's very, hey, we had the same result, but it was very different circumstances.
Yeah.
And as much as your kid hates you right now, he'll grow to understand that. And I think he will grow to understand that when they have to kill somebody again.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I just really like that moment. And I think that, yeah, you're right. That's going to be something that Chris will grow from.
I just had, we've kind of talked about everything. It was very one-track episodes. There weren't a lot of moving parts. I did think they needed to keep it very narrow focused with the objective of the episode, so it wasn't too scattered, so it didn't lose everybody. I just made the reference that Strand is already in like season 4, season 5 of Proper.
Right.
And
in terms of his mentality. Yeah.
Yeah, he is just light years ahead of everybody. He is completely disconnected. So, do you think that Strand owns a company that was doing some sort of government testing?
Oh, so you're thinking maybe he is part of the epidemic?
Because Salazar made the comment is he was ready, and he was in that prison.
Right, and he was packing his stuff and ready to go before this started.
Yeah, before this started. Now, maybe he is just a prepper and he's always kind of that way because he's got the money to do it, so why not do it?
Nah, I think he was on the run from something. I'm not sure what.
Yeah,
maybe that will be revealed to us, but I don't think he was prepping.
I think it's coming, but you know what? Maybe he was kind of aware of some government testing or something that was coming. The one thing I will say is they are aware that no matter how you die, everybody turns.
Yeah.
So they're already at that point. So they already got a one-up. So that's good.
And they figured out pretty early on that they needed to shoot Liza in the head.
Mm-hmm.
I will say a couple things about the Talking Dead. So Cliff Curtis is a Brit.
Yeah. No, he's New Zealand.
Okay. So I misheard. I knew there was an accent. I misheard the accent or misplaced the accent.
He's New Zealand or Australia, one of the two.
Okay. And then I do have to say I love Hosier even more than I did when I heard the Arsonist Lullaby in Walking Dead proper. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, not my kind of rock star.
Yeah, I know. You and I think probably have a little bit of a different take on things, but well, I'm gonna pull up the Biters Facebook page because I do know that we've got already one comment about fear, and we may even have more as we've been podcasting.
So while you're doing that, I will say that we're doing this season for the long haul. We are going to have some fun with it. We are going to try to not make too many comparisons to The Walking Dead whenever possible. We will try to rate, review, and view this series as if it were its only one. So keep that in mind as we're kind of going along here. We want to keep it fresh. We want to have some fun with it. This is our off season. It's our think of it as our training camp. For when Proper rolls back around.
I do wanted to let you know, and I think the listeners are well aware also, I will be podcasting from Hawaii next week.
Yay!
And I'm thinking I'm not hauling my whole setup with me. I'm going to take my computer. I've got a nice new set of Bose headphones that have a microphone, so hopefully that's going to be enough. We're recording in Skype, so I think it should be.
Yeah, it will be good.
Yeah. So this is from Thomas Reese. This is the first post that we got about Fear. Loved it. Fear is more like the responsible and mature older brother of The Walking Dead. I'm giving Monster a respectable 3.9 ankle biting floaters. Wow, he graded it really high.
Yeah, he did.
I think they're off to a strong start. Strand is awesome, which we both agree. Alicia's stupid as shit. I can't wait for Chris to die. Daniel's a badass, Nick's cool, and the rest of the cast is just there. Their amateur mistakes are constantly poking me in the eye, but I keep forgetting they've only lived in this world for a few weeks. I think this season will be more prison than farm, and I think it will ultimately be a hit. Kill of the week, Propeller to the Skull. Character of the week, Strand. You guys have been killing, the shows have been great. Keep recording and I'll keep listening.
Thanks, Thomas.
Yeah,
appreciate it, man.
Thank you. That's really nice to hear. And I agree with him. I'm really hoping that this is more prison than farm, and I hope it just takes off from here.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Everything he was saying was kind of matching up. I mean, he even had the character of the week and everything. So I definitely know that his feelings match right with mine with Alicia and Chris. And I want to know how he feels about Maddie or whatever.
Okay, so here we go. Would you put up another poll?
I don't know if we're poll ready yet.
I was going to say, who do you think is going to be the first character to die?
Well, I don't think anyone's going to die even next week. So we'll see how next week goes, and then I think we'll start setting up the danger.
All right.
I think our cast is too small to lose anybody right now.
I'm getting bloodthirsty already.
Jeez. Lady's going off the edge.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? We did an
short
hour
and sweet,
6,
man.
No, not short and sweet. We did an hour and 6. How funny is that? We thought it was going to be short and sweet.
Well, once it trims out, we had to restart this. So it'll be about 50 minutes.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Let's take it one dead day at a time.
Boom.
See you guys.
We're getting there. All right. Take care.